Hello and welcome to my channel, The Coloring Book Artist. This is a place for creatives who enjoy coloring as a stress reducer and a way of expressing themselves creatively. It's also a place for artists who dream of creating and publishing their own books. Hi, my name is Rodney Washington, and I just finished watching a video titled How to Sell Coloring Books Online the Easy Way by Kat Theo. On her video, she literally walks you through all of the steps of designing your coloring book on Canva, which is a software platform that I use to set up my own book, and setting up everything for publishing on Amazon's KDP platform. So I'd like to jump into this conversation and share my own experience of designing my own book on Canva and on Amazon KDP. More specifically, the five things I wish I knew before publishing my first coloring book to Amazon KDP. The first thing is the first thing I wish that I had started talking about my book project online before I published. When I was inspired to do my book titled Never Too Late to Make It Happen, I actually just went into designing the book. It was an idea that came to me. I did some research on various books, and this was something that I wanted to do, like a quote, inspirational type coloring book. So I just kind of jumped right into it and I started putting everything together. I started pulling my graphics and laying out the quotes I wanted to say and just putting the whole book together. And so I really kind of created in a vacuum. What I wished I had done was that I started talking about the book a little bit more with my personal network, people that I knew, my friends, my family. I wished I had shared and talked about the book a little bit more before I actually put it together. The reason why I feel like this is so important is because, again, we can create inside a vacuum, which really, we can put something out and maybe people aren't responding to it. Now, I've sold some copies of the book, but I also feel like if I had talked about it more and shared it more, and even maybe shared my process as I was putting the book together, I feel like when I did finally publish it on Amazon, it would have sold more copies right away. So I would suggest if you're thinking about putting this together, even if you're just in idea phase, you're not even actually, gonna just put the book out yet. Just start talking about it. Start sharing it on social media. Start, sharing it with your friends. Maybe do a mock-up of the cover and put it up on your Facebook page and just share it with some of your the people that already know you, the people who already know, like, and trust you, because that could be your first sales. Also, it can be encouragement. So I recommend that. So that's the number one thing. I wished I had talked about the book more as I was designing it or as I was thinking about putting it together. Number two, I wished I knew I needed an Amazon Advantage account to upload multiple images. On Amazon S3, you actually, I'm not sorry, I keep saying S3. I'm sorry, on Amazon KDP, you can have um, various interior shots of the inside of your book. It's a great way to stimulate sales and get interest going in the book. And it just kind of gives the person who's been thinking about buying it more of an idea about what your book is going to actually entail. So, one of the things that I didn't know was that when I published my book on the KDP platform, I was only allowed two images to upload with my listing, which in my case was the cover and the front and the back covers of my book. But I kept seeing other coloring book artists like this one who had multiple pages, more than two, showing the interior of the book. And so I just assumed before I published my book that I was going to be able to do the same thing. What I realized very quickly was that I could not upload more than two images automatically. I had to go through another process with Amazon to be able to do that. And the process that I found out as of actually recording this video is to set up an account with Advantage Amazon. Amazon Advantage allows published authors on the platform. You already have to have your book published to be able to share multiple pages of the inside of your book, like this one. So, what I liked about this and what drew my eye to it was that I liked the way there was like a background graphic that really was very illustrative. I like the fact that they used the graphics representing the pages of the interior of the book, and they were able to put that together and then share the the book, so that it looked more engaging and more inviting than just the front and back cover. So, in order to be able to do this, you have to publish your book first on Amazon through the KDP platform, which is print on demand. You have to get all that set up. And then once you're published, then you then apply to become a member of Amazon Advantage. And I'm going to put the link inside of the description in the bottom on where you can go to do that. So you'll just go and you'll ask to be accepted into the Advantage program. And then once they approve you, you can then upload multiple pages of the interior of your book. So when people look at your sales description, it starts to look, a little bit more like this, for an example. And I feel like it really goes a long way towards helping to improve sales. So that was number three. I mean, sorry, number two. I wish I knew I needed an Amazon Advantage account in order to be able to um, upload more images of my book. Okay, moving on to number three. I wish I knew that any updates or revisions to my book would take up to 48 hours to process. This was something that, as I put the book together, I'd upload it, and then I'd notice something that I wanted to change. Maybe I wanted to change how the layout of the pages, or I wanted to change maybe the introduction of the book. So once the book is up there and listed, if someone finds it, they can buy it. But if I want to make a change to the book internally, I have to then re-upload the file back up to Amazon, and then it could take up to 48 hours to get that update approved before then, if someone buys the book, because again, this is print on demand, so the books are printed as they're ordered. But again, I wished I had knew that it was going to take that long to get the updates to be set up inside of Amazon, which means if someone ordered my book in the middle of the waiting process, they would get the earlier iteration, not the new iteration. So that's something I wish I knew. Number three was I wish I knew that it would take up to 48 hours to process. Number four, I wish I'd started sooner. I kind of played around with the idea of the book, and I'm not saying jump the gun, but if you get an inspiration, go for it. Again, even if you're not even ready to lay the book out yet, you're not quite sure what the focus is going to be or whatever. You're just kind of playing around with some ideas in your head. Go ahead and start talking about the book, because again, it's a great way to get feedback. Almost everyone has a network, either an Instagram following or maybe a Facebook group following or something like that. Just start talking about your project, because again, I wish that I had started talking about the book sooner. I wish I started sharing about it sooner, because we all have the magical ideas that once the book gets published on Amazon, the sales are just going to start rolling in. You have to still market it, even though it's on Amazon, and even though you can get great keywords and a great description, and all of that stuff, and do all that research. It takes a while before the book can be found organically. So start talking to your local network, start building up that interest audience early. So when the book is published, you can send everyone over to your Amazon link to start buying your book right away. And then this moves us right on to number five, take action today. This is something that, again, I wished I had again, I think I procrastinated a little too long. I kind of thought about the idea a little too long. Once I actually started laying out the pages, once I started kind of gathering what I want to put together, I put together the book in less than 5 days. So I would have thought it would have taken weeks, but I was like, no, I want to get this done in like 72 hours, maybe 4 days. And that's what I did. I just went after it. I started pulling together all of my artwork. I started laying out all my quotes. I laid everything down, started building out my pages and assembled the book. And literally, I built the book as I was learning how to do it. And so I would say, it's never too late to do you. This is a quote that's inside my coloring book. I recommend that, again, if you get an inspiration for it, move quickly, because again, you're only going to learn what's not working until you put something out there. So I would say just take action right away. So again, just to recap, everything that I've covered so far is: number one, I wish that I started talking about my book project before I published. That was the really number one thing I wished I had done. The second thing was I wished I knew that I needed an Amazon Advantage account to upload multiple images. It still wouldn't have changed what I did, but I wished I knew about it before I actually started, working on my book. So I had that expectation in check. Number three, I wish I knew that revisions and updates would take up to 48 hours to process. That means I would have been able to kind of look back over my book with a little bit more of a fine tooth comb before I published it. Number four, I wished I started sooner. I wished I had just, like, I got the inspiration, but I wished I had just moved on a little faster, not wait too long to get it going. And number five, I wish that I would have taken and just start taking action. Start taking action immediately, because again, it's never too late to do you. So that's my take on it. So again, if you want to connect with me, you can connect with me on Instagram at thecoloringbook.artist. I have the link there inside the description. You can also check out my coloring book, Never Too Late to Make It Happen. I'll also put the link down inside the description on Amazon. And then I'd love to, hear your thoughts. Also, too, I'm going to be making a lot more videos on this subject, more detailing the process, the design process, the layout process, tools I used, listing the book, designing the graphics, everything from this 3D graphic of my book and all of that. I'll be making more videos about that in the future. So, with that said, if there's something that you'd like to know more about, feel free to give me a comment in the description, and I'll be more than happy to respond. And just thank you for checking and everything out. So I look forward to checking out with you in the future. Okay, bye bye.